Hello, welcome to Science. We are finishing up the chapter on oceans, and the last section is on ocean ecosystems. What are some ocean ecosystems? The first section is where the ocean meets the land, or the intertidal zone. Inter means between, international, between different countries. Intermission in a play is intermissions between. Intertidal is the high tide comes up, water gets up to here, it goes back down, goes down to here. That section in between that it's sometimes underwater and sometimes exposed to the air is the intertidal system. Birds love it because there's all these little organisms left behind that they come down and eat. Crabs love it, and there's a list of some animals that often in tide pools. Tide pools are, you can see them, I know at Escambarón, the section where you can see it, the water comes in, high tide, but when it goes back up, there's some areas that are just like rocks form. The rocks have areas where the water never leaves, it always kind of stays there. All kinds of little creatures living in there, sea stars, crabs, all kinds of weird stuff, sea urchins, stuff with the big spikes on it that you don't want to step on. At the bottom of that page, they're asking you to name two organisms, animals, that live in that intertidal zone or often frequent that intertidal zone, like birds. Birds, good choice to put in there. They don't live there, but they visit. They come get food. It's like take a area. Next section is on coral reefs. Coral reefs are incredibly important for a variety of things. One, they are where fish lay their eggs and have little babies, and it produces lots. It's a home for lots and lots of animals. It also, in a place that has to do with hurricanes, like I don't know, Puerto Rico. It helps if there's a healthy coral system, and the giant storm surge of the hurricanes coming up, the coral reef slows it down, and so it helps protect us from flooding on the coasts. Coral reefs are branch-like structures built by colonies of coral polyps. Corals are amazing because they're alive. They look like they're rocks. They look like, hold on, talk amongst yourselves, you're talking amongst yourselves. You're talking amongst yourselves. I'm going to sneeze. That's perfect time. Was that some exciting video that you guys watched? Okay, coral reef. This, I believe, was a brain coral, because it looks kind of like a brain. It was once alive. It is no longer alive. I found this washed up on the beach. The coral systems they're living organisms. They are facing big problems right now from coral bleaching, which is when the water gets too hot or too salty or too acidic. Not too salty, too acidic. The bleaches can die. That's a big problem. All right, what's the next section? The wide and the deep. As you go out, things get really deep, right? Down to those trenches. And they have, and interesting, they measure, they name, because we love to name everything. Get to the top of the water, and you go down, that's called the sunlit area, which is where the sun comes in. Of course, along the coast, it's all sunlit. Coral reefs are all sunlit. You go below there, twilight. Twilight is that time of day that the sun is going down. Sun's down, but there's still some light. That's the twilight area. And then the midnight section. And then the lower midnight section, which is pretty amazing. They're asking you to fill in these numbers. It's a weird question. It took me a couple times to figure it out myself. So let's talk through it. Zone, do the math. Zone, sunlit, depth 200 meters. Amount of water, 200 meters. 200 cubic meters. It's an M with a 3 at the end of it. Twilight goes down 1,000 feet. How much water is in that twilight zone? Subtract 200 from 1,000. 1,000 minus 200 equals how much? The next area, midnight, goes down 4,000 meters. It's a long ways down. What is that? That's like 12,000 feet, like 2 miles down. How do you get the amount of water? Subtract 1,000 from 4,000. That's that area. And then the lower midnight goes down to 11,000 meters. The Mount Everest could fit underneath the water there. How do you figure out the amount of water there? Subtract 4,000 from 11,000. How much water in the column gets enough light to support plant life? Just the sunlit section supports plant life. How much water in the column does not get enough light to support plant life? Well, the rest. So subtract 200 from 11,000. 11,000 minus 200 equals? Exactly. That's it, exactly. Next section, the most important organism you never see, plankton. Plankton is famous for being whale food. All kinds of animals survive off of eating plankton. And also plankton produce oxygen, taking carbon dioxide and release oxygen, which we need to survive. What else we got here? Oh, and then you got to the sum it up section and the brain check. Sum it up, intertidal zone. Where is that? It's right on the shore. It's on the beach where the water comes up and it goes down. What are the words in that area that fit into there? Mud flats would be one of them. Here's one here on this page. You can use the words more than once. For example, the near shore zone and the intertidal zone are going to share some things. They're going to share dolphins, and they're going to share birds because they all go out there. When you're at the beach, you can sometimes see pelicans and other birds that eat fish flying out, not like on the shore, but they're kind of a little further out, and they dive down, they grab the fish, eat them. And the last one is the open ocean. This is way out there. And it has birds too. I mean, but not so much. They don't list it here on my answer section. But there are some things that only really go with there. One thing that goes in there that I didn't mention was hydrothermal, which is on the open ocean section. Where was that? That was back on the wide and the deep. We didn't talk about that. That's where volcanic gases and heat bubble up from the bottom of the ocean. And there's weird creatures that can live in that stuff because it's really hot and it's sulfuric. It's got nasty chemicals that usually animals don't like. But because life goes wherever it can, there's even life down there. Wordplay, brain check. Use the words in the lesson to complete each sentence. Intertidal zone is underwater during what? Water comes in. What do you call it when the water comes in? That's your answer. Coral polyps live together in coral reef, but what do they have a special word for it? Oh, it's the same thing that we call countries that belong to other countries when they're Puerto Rico as well. 3. The area between the intertidal zone and the open ocean is the... Look on the page before on 528. What's between the intertidal zone and the open ocean on that page? The widest and deepest ecosystems are in the... Again, look at that previous page. There's the answer right there. The furthest out section. What do you call that? Compared to the open ocean, the near shore zone is warm and it's not deep. It's... My daughter just wants to... No, she's coming in here to get a pen. That's all. That's all she wanted. It's not deep. It's the opposite of deep. Many intertidal organisms are exposed to air during intertidal. In comes the water. It goes out and exposes it. What do you call it when the water goes out? Exactly. Birds can feed on animals exposed in a... water comes back out, but there's this little area where the water stays. What do you call that? swimming in a group of microscopic organisms of different types drifting in the ocean are whale food. What do you call that? Figure out how to place the answers in the boxes below so that the letters in the red box answer the riddle. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, you know what? You just put them in order. Take your answers from up top. I'm not going to show you because that's not going to show you. Take your answers from up here and then put them in. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. And that will spell out where do fish meet new friends. Not anymore. On Zoom. I don't think it spells out Zoom calls. No. Last page. Draw a tide pool and write the name of 3 organisms. The name of 3 organisms that live there. That sounds like fun. Draw a tide pool. 3. Draw a hydrothermal vent and write the name of 3 organisms that live there. You'll find a list of that earlier in the chapter. You get to draw a hydrothermal vent. How exciting is that? Life is good. Number 4, explain why photosynthetic organisms are more plentiful in the nearshore zone than in the open ocean. Photosynthetic organisms. What are those? Those are plant life. They use photosynthesis. What do you need for photosynthesis? What's coming down? What's coming through that window right now? Exactly. And is there more of that in the near zone where it's shallow? I think it is. 5, identify what has happened in these before and after pictures. Those before and after pictures, you saw them before on page 527, so that answer will be there. All right, all that's left in this chapter is the, we got 2 bonus pages. People in Science. There's Evan B. Ford. He's an oceanographer. An oceanographer studies the ocean. And there's Eugenie Clark. Whoa. Shark lady. Scary. I don't need sharks. Blah, blah, blah. Classifying ocean life. You guys remember this, the dichotomous key? We worked on it a long time ago, where you say whether or not, you say, yes, it's yes or no questions. Does it have a backbone? Yes. Goes in that section. If it says no, goes in that section. So, below it's going to ask you these questions. Which animal does not have gills? Well, there's a lot of animals that don't have gills, right? It's not just, 3 of them don't have gills. Which animal has tentacles? So look in here. There's tentacles, and there's yes or no. Which one's yes? Which one? Yes, tentacles. There's a picture of it right above there. How does a shark breathe? Where's shark? It's up there. It says yes, and it is, yes, it has what? That's how a shark breathes. All right, all that's left is the Unit 11 review, and then we're kind of done for the school year. I will make a separate video about the review, which is your test for this chapter. All right, oceans. Here's to swim in the ocean someday soon.